Okay, herzlich willkommen. Welcome to the press conference. Today we want to introduce to you our new head coach, Jim Herrmann. Welcome, Jim Herrmann, here in Innsbruck and on the stage today.
Well, thank you. I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Perfect. And on my other side, it's Däuber, our general manager of football. And yeah, nice that you're all here. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I can also translate, but we will stay in English since our new head coach is from the United States of America. Yeah, first question to you, Jim. You arrived here a couple of days ago. How was your first impression of Innsbruck, especially from the surrounding?
The second my wife and I got off the plane and we looked back behind us and saw the mountains, I was like, wow, beautiful. And everything that we've done so far here in Innsbruck has been amazing. The people are really nice and history. So it was really good.
You are a very experienced coach. Why did you decide to join the Raiders Tirol after you had some glorious position in the NCAA and also in the NFL?
Well, I think I was talking to one of the players last night, and he asked the same question. And I think in every man's life, there's a point where you try to give back what you do. And I've had a great career, and it's time for me to give back and to help other people grow and help players grow. And I see this ELF League growing. I think it's got a great future, and I'd like to be a part of the ground floor of that and maybe help players and coaches and this whole thing grow. And very exciting, to be in a position where you can give back and help eager young men become better players, eager young men become better coaches. And so that's exciting for me.
Great. Let's switch to Ulz.
Sure.
Ulz, the process of finding a head coach is not always easy, but at the end, you and the board made the decision to have Coach Herrmann as our new head coach. What was important for you in the process, and why did the Raiders decided to sign Coach Herrmann?
Yes, it's not easy, but it's a fun process, because we had a lot of people interested in the position, and I was very excited about that, having so many people contact me from all different levels, and looking at the Raiders and seeing that the Raiders are something special in Europe. And also, like Jim said, the ELF is something special in Europe, and getting that attention is great. What was important for me is that we don't want to find the quick fix. We want to find something that's the right fit. And the right fit for me is, first of all, somebody who's a great person. Because there are so many great coaches out there, but it's got to be somebody who can connect with our players, with our coaches, with the local guys mainly, also with our fan base. That's the most important thing, that personal connection. Then it's got to be somebody that I trust, and we talked a lot, and we really talked a lot, which was important for me, and we both hit it off very well, and then I felt we were always honest to each other, and there were some bumps in the road that we had to get over and make sure that both sides understand what we want. But eventually it came down to the trust factor, finding the right person to connect with our people, and somebody who can be has been very successful and continue the success that we had here with the Raiders over the last years. And that's what me and the board then kind of put us in that position that we said, Jim is the right person. And he is. After having been with him for the past couple days, it's amazing.
Thank you. Coach Herrmann coached in the NFL, coached in the NCAA, had a lot of experience, coached big names, big players, coached against big coaches and big names. What can our Raiders expect from him and also learn from him?
Well, I think that's something you want to ask him. I'm not the person to answer that. Why did you ask that?
Good.
Jim, why don't you answer that question?
So, Coach, what can the players and also the fans, the Raiders fans, the Raiders family can expect from your style of coaching?
Number one, as I look at it, especially in the league, the games that I've watched is the team that's the most disciplined football team is going to win. A team that goes out and does their job, everybody on the field doing their job. I think that's going to be huge for us. It's a very disciplined team doing their job and playing together as a team. I've talked to all these players about family. This is a unique league because you have the Austrian kids and men, and you have Americans, and you have Europeans, and Oles and I are trying to build a culture here where it's a family. And once you get the family together, all the great teams I've ever been a part of, they were a close family unit, and nobody wanted to let down their brother. And to me, I think that at the end of this year, these guys are going to be able to look at each other and say, I had your back. And great things come from that. And I think that's the number one culture that I want to have. And then from there, everything else is going to happen. I'm not going to sit there and say we're going to win. Look, if we play together as a football team, as a family, and we play together as a family, trust each other, and we play for each other, there's nobody in this league that can beat us. And there's no one that we can't beat. I believe that this organization is the best organization in Europe. The history. I talked to a young man yesterday who's played in this system for 20 years. Now think about that. That's no different than kids in the United States playing for their grade school team, to their high school team, to their college team. And to me, there's no other place in Europe that does that. And we just have to learn how to play together as a family. And we got to get the right guys, to fill those roles. And, those are the things that we have in front of us to get done. But at the end of the day, that's what people will see. The fans will see the people in this organization as a family.
Thank you. Coach, you said the right names, and not only a head coach is very important for a football team, but also the whole coaching staff and the whole roster. Ulz, can you tell us already something about the next steps, and without maybe telling too much secrets, but what's coming next for the Raiders?
Yeah, well, key thing for me was making sure we get a head coach on board. I had talked to the team as I saw us as a sleeping giant that has to rise. And we've done that. We have the leadership role there. Now from here, we got to fill the staff. That's important. And for me, it's important to have a diverse staff where people come with different backgrounds and bring great ideas. And I know for Jim, it's important that it's people who believe in what he's believing. So I think that connection for both of us are important. And then at the same time, signing our players back. A great amount of our players are very excited. Some have signed already. A lot of them I'm in talks and discussions with that they're going to come back, which is the first thing that I said on my agenda is bringing our guys back. And also then looking at our import positions that we got to fill, doing that from the European standpoint and also from the American standpoint. So that's over the next couple of weeks. That's going to be the key factor. Getting all the pieces of the puzzle in front of us, making sure they are put in the right spot, making the right decision. That's where we're going to evaluate together our personnel and our coaching staff. And from there on, then it's on to the players. They after the national team, where they hopefully can beat Finland here in a couple of weeks. and then they gotta hit the weight room, go running, and get ready because the season is not that far away anymore.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Ulz. Last question to you, Coach. What are your goals for next year with that team? What do you want for the Raiders in 2024?
I think I mentioned this to the team the other night. Like, to me, it's really important to build the family. That's first and foremost. Because if you don't have that, we're not going to win. We'll just be another team. So that's going to be huge. I think one of my goals, and I told the guys the other night, when our first game is over, I want the team, I want the organization, I want their fans on the other side of the field to sit there and say, "Oh my God, that is the best team in NELF. That's the most disciplined team. That's the most aggressive team. That's the most violent team, the most relentless team we've ever played against." I want all of our opponents to say that. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to win every game, but if our opponents sit there and go, "Wow," then we're doing the right thing, and the wins will come. That, to me, is important. I want our opponents to go back home and say, "God dang, we got to play them again." And to me, once you do that, you've already won the game. It's over. And so I want that. I want that head coach on the other sideline to say, "I don't want to play them again." And that's how I feel. That's what I want.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ulz. Thank you, Coach Herrmann, for your first words to the Austrian and Tyrolean media. Are there any questions from your side?
Jim, welcome in Innsbruck. How often do you wear your ring? Do you sleep with it?
I do not. No. I wear it once in a while, but I thought I'd wear it today.
You worked in the past as part of the coaching staff. So maybe it's a silly question, but it is your first press conference today?
Say it again.
Is it your
My
first press
con-
conference since you was defensive coordinator, maybe not head coach in the past?
No, I've done press conferences a lot. My first one here in Austria, yes, but no, I've been in front of the press a lot. It's just part of the job, you know.
But you were at first time a head coach.
First time as a head coach, yes.
Was it the next step for you to be head coach in your career?
What's the next step?
Like you were, I think the question is, you were defensive coordinator and position coach before. Was it your next step in your career to become a head coach?
Yes, I've always, even as a coordinator, I've always felt when I was a coordinator that I was the head coach of the defense, you know. And everywhere I've been, even if I was just a linebacker coach, I'm one of those guys, like, I always make sure I talk to the offensive linemen, the wide receivers. As goofy as it sounds, like some of my best relationships are with other players at other positions, because I think it's important that, you know, it's that family thing. It's so easy to get into your little room and I got my linebackers and I don't care about anybody else. And to me, if you do that, the family becomes fractured. You know, I've always wanted guys to believe that, hey, look, no matter what, I could walk into that guy's office and feel comfortable to talk about anything. And you know, those are, and it's hard. It's not easy. You might have something to do, and the running back walks in your rooms and wants to talk to you, and you just got to put your work aside and say, hey, what's up? What do you need? And you might be able to help him. I remember I was at the Indianapolis Colts, and Adam Vinatieri, who was close to my age, would come in every Wednesday. Just, hey, how you doing? How's it going? Hey, my son did this. and we talked, and I thought that was pretty cool. And so, in terms of being the head coach, in terms of the relationships, I've already been there and I've already done it. The things that'll be different is game time management. I haven't been the guy that says, "Hey, timeout." You know what I mean? Like, "Hey, we got to take a timeout," or you got to tell the offensive coordinator, run the ball. You know what I mean? I don't want to see a pass. Run the ball. We're going to win the game. I was talking to some of the guys the other day. I'm sure you guys watched the University of Miami game that they lost in the last 4 seconds of the game. All the head coach had to do is tell them to kneel down, and they're going to win the game. And they handed the ball off. The guy fumbles. The other team goes in and scores, and they lose the game. It's like I'm kind of looking forward to those decisions. Like, hey, kneel on the ball. Do what you're supposed to do. And so that part of it is going to be new for me. The relationship part with players, I've always enjoyed that, and I love that part of that's why I coach. It's one of the big reasons I coach. Good question. Thank you.
Frage ans Management.
Yep.
Wir sind vor 2 Jahren im Semifinale gescheitert. Also ihr habt es gesehen als Scheitern. Das ist ja auch im Grunddurchgang schon ausgeschieden.
Ja.
Das große Ziel ist immer das Finale. Ist das die Grundanspruch heuer, im 3. Jahr ins Finale zu kommen? Oder?
Na, unser Grundanspruch hier bei den Raiders ist auf jeden Fall, dass wir das Top-Programm sind in Europa. Und dazu gehört auch ganz vorne mitzuspielen. Und dazu gehört auch, ich sage unserem Team auch, wir können, kein Team in der ELF kann sich jetzt als Championship-Team bezeichnen. Und weil selbst Rhein Fire haben Leute verloren und wir haben, was wir uns verdient haben, ist das erste Spiel, uns aufs erste Spiel vorzubereiten zu können. And as soon as we get to the first game, we want to go 1-0. And after that, we want to go 1-0 again. And I want to play in September. And I'm in kindergarten, it was nice to be part of it. But now I'm not playing to be part of it. I'm playing in September to win that. Now, will I sit here and say that we're going to win the championship? I can't say that right now. But that's my goal. That's where I want to be. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I hired Jim. And sorry, now I'm falling back into English.
Coach, one question. What is important are the import players? They are very important. Do you have some player? You have so much connections, I think, in the States. Do you have some players in your mind?
I do. But, they are very important. You're right. But they have to be the right kind of guys. You don't build anything with bad character people. That's one of your building blocks. If you have bad character people, whatever you build is going to fall down. My job is to get 4 guys in here, 4 Americans in here, who can mesh with the Austrian guys and the European guys, and again, form a family. You can't have a family when 4 guys are standing over there and the rest of the guys standing over here. And and when I start to bring those guys in, I'm going to tell them, look, if you aren't willing to do that, you'll be on a plane your ass home. Because addition by subtraction. If one bad apple, get rid of it, and you'll be better off. So I think it's very important that we find the right people. And we have positions that we are looking at, and it has to be the right fit. And that, between Oles and I, we got to make sure that we have 53 men who come together as a family and play for each other, and great things will happen. That's first and foremost for me. Once the staff is set, and then that's going to be the next big piece of agenda.
You worked for Lazio Dax, I've heard. So maybe it helps you that it's not your first stop in Europe. It's a help for you.
I think being with the Lazio Ducks is one of the reasons why I'm sitting up here right now. I saw how that was run. I understand how it goes. But let me just say this: this organization, all right, is probably the best in Europe, and that's one of the reasons why I'm sitting here. And that work that I did there in Lazio, which was fun. My wife and I had a great time. We love Italy, but I want to win. Don't make any mistake about that. And this place gives me an opportunity to win. And, you know, I've had plenty of other opportunities to go other places, but they don't compare to this place.
Do you actually know about Tyrol in general?
I'm learning as I go, trust me. I know the golden hat or golden roof. I've seen it. I know how many shingles are in it. As a young man, I used to be an avid skier. I don't know if I can do these mountains though, with these old knees of mine. But like I said earlier, when May and I got off the plane, we just like stood there. We were like shocked how beautiful the mountains were. The security guy had to come tell us to get off the tarmac. You know what I mean? It's like I was just I loved it, and it's one of the most beautiful places I've been. So I'm sure I'll learn more as I go. Last night we were at one of the oldest restaurants that had some kings and queens and princesses and all that stuff there, and I kind of wrote my little name down in pencil down at the bottom. But no, this has been a great 3-4 days. I don't even know what day it is now. Oles has had me busy every single second. So, but I'd had a great time. My wife's had a great time, and we'll be looking forward to coming back.
When will you come back and stay?
April 1st. I have my wife and I. We're expecting our third grandchild in the end of March. So, just knock on wood that my daughter is on time, and we'll be good. But 1st of April. Yeah.
We are very proud of our football team. It's one of the best teams in Europe. But you won the Super Bowl. Before you went to Rome. Were you afraid to get a culture clash, maybe?
I didn't catch it.
You coached in the NFL. You were a Super Bowl champion, and were you afraid of getting a culture shock when you came to Europe? Or, I mean,
no.
You travel a lot, you told us.
I travel. May and I have traveled all over the world. I wasn't culture shock, and I'll just say this: like, to me, I love football. Football's football. I don't care if it's in. I've coached in Japan. I've coached in Quebec. I've coached Lazio Ducks. I've helped out in Mexico. I love football. It doesn't matter where it is. Like, if you get young men who want to play the game and who are violent men and love to play and love to hit, it doesn't matter where it is, you know. And if I can help them, if I can help a young man, just one, and he gets better, then that was a success. If I can get this whole team to take a step forward as players and as a team, I will be successful. And that, I've carried that with me. I've coached every level there is, and it's football, and I can't see myself doing anything else. Like I don't. God put me here to be a football coach. I really believe that. So it doesn't matter where it is, you know. And this is just another challenge, and it'll be fun.
Okay. Dann vielen Dank. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Some more general information for you guys. Am Donnerstag, am 19.10., also übermorgen, haben wir von 18 bis 19.30 Uhr unser großes Tryout im American Football Zentrum für alle Kinder, Jugendlichen und Erwachsenen von 3 bis 99, für alle unsere Sportarten, Cheerleading, Cheerdance, Flag Football und Tackle Football. Freuen wir uns natürlich auf ein großes Kommen, viele Kinder und auch Erwachsene, die zur Raiders-Familie kommen wollen. Des Weiteren haben wir am Wochenende 2 Footballspiele, am Samstag im American Football Center mit der U12 und der U14 ab 12 Uhr und am Abend dann im Landessportcenter unsere Basketball 2. Bundesligamannschaft. Und auch am Sonntag haben wir einen großen Footballtag am American Football Zentrum mit U6 und U9 Turnieren, wo Mannschaften aus Bayern und aus Österreich kommen. Das als General Informations. Wenn ihr noch Informationen zu Coach Herrmann braucht, Bilder braucht, könnt ihr gerne media@raiders.at dem Martin schreiben. Wir versorgen euch da gerne. Coach Herrmann wird, wie gesagt, ab April wieder in Österreich sein und dann, so wie schon angekündigt, werden wir regelmäßige Pressetermine voraussichtlich hybrid, einerseits online oder auch vor Ort euch anbieten können und freuen uns da auf eine gute Zusammenarbeit. Wenn jetzt im Anschluss noch Zeit für Kurzinterviews oder Fragen an Coach Herrmann oder auch an Ulrich Däuber. Und wir bedanken uns ganz herzlich für euer Kommen und bis bald. Dankeschön.